So you've finally made the decision. You're ready to leave the corporate world and launch your own fractional practice. But how do you actually leave corporate life for good? How do you step out of the rat race permanently and ensure you never have to go back? Leaving corporate life, it's not an ending. It's the beginning of the most lucrative, high-impact phase of your entire career. First, we're going to talk about that point of no return, that exact moment you shift from being a corporate executive, testing the waters, to a fully committed fractional business owner. Then I'll break down the 3 pillars of permanence: the mindset, the mechanics, and the marketing system that ensures your fractional practice is sustainable for the next 10 to 15 years. We also need to talk about the concept of legacy impact, how to stop building someone else's empire and start building your own body of work. And finally, I'll show you how to tie this all together into a predictable machine that runs on your exact terms so you can scale this business as big as you want. Let's go. When you ask how to leave corporate life, what you're really asking is, how do I make sure I never have to go back? The biggest fear every executive has when they leave the W-2 world is that they will fail, they will run out of money, and they'll have to go crawling back to a corporate recruiter with their tail between their legs. To leave corporate life permanently, you have to stop treating fractional work as a temporary consulting gig or just a bridge between full-time jobs. You have to treat it like it is the final, most lucrative, and most impactful phase of your career. You are not retiring, you're graduating. And to make this graduation permanent, you have to master the 3 pillars of permanence. If you get these 3 things right, you will build a sustainable practice that gives you total control over your income, your calendar, and your legacy. Let's break down exactly how to build that permanent foundation. The first pillar is the mindset of permanence. As long as you view yourself as an unemployed executive looking for fractional work, you will always be one bad month away from updating your resume. To leave corporate life for good, you have to burn the boats. You have to completely destroy that employee mindset. You are no longer climbing a ladder. You own the ladder. You are no longer asking for permission. You are prescribing solutions. You are no longer measuring success by the size of your team or your budget. You are measuring it by your autonomy, your margins, and your impact. When you fully embrace the mindset that your 30 years of rich, deep experience is a premium product and that you are the CEO of that product, you'll stop acting out of fear. You get to start firing toxic clients. You get to start raising your rates. You start from a place of absolute abundance because you know your value is undeniable. The second pillar of the mechanics of sustainability: you cannot build a permanent legacy on a shaky foundation. If you're operating as a sole proprietor and you're sending invoices from your personal Gmail account and doing your accounting in a messy spreadsheet, you're gonna burn out. To make your exit permanent, you need business infrastructure, and it must be bulletproof. You need to set up your LLC correctly. You need a rock-solid master services agreement that protect your time and your IP. You need a clear productized fractional operating system so you aren't reinventing the wheel for every single client. And you need to do the math on your benefits and your retirement so you aren't lying awake at night worried about healthcare premiums. When your mechanics are dialed in, the anxiety of leaving corporate life completely disappears. You aren't just winging it. You're running a highly optimized, highly profitable B2B business. The third pillar is the concept of legacy impact. For the last 30 years, you have poured your blood, your sweat, your tears into building empires for other people. You have made boards wealthy, you have made founders famous, and you have been rewarded with a salary and a bonus. When you leave corporate life, you finally get to build your own body of work. As a fractional executive, you get to choose the founders you want to mentor. You get to choose the companies you want to scale. You get to drop into a chaotic startup, install your fractional OS, and watch them double their revenue because of your specific strategic brain. That's your legacy. You aren't just a line on a corporate P&L anymore. You are the catalyst for growth across an entire portfolio of companies. You're taking 30 years of hard-earned wisdom and deploying it exactly where it's needed most. But more importantly, on your exact terms. The final piece that ties all of this together is the thing that guarantees that you never have to go back to corporate: your marketing machine. You can have the perfect mindset, bulletproof mechanics, and a desire to leave a massive legacy. But if you don't have a predictable way to get clients, your fractional practice will fail. Relying on your existing network will only get you your first few clients. After that, the well runs dry. To leave corporate life permanently, you must build a system that engineers word of mouth and attracts high-quality founders to you on autopilot. You need a pipeline that is so predictable that you can confidently turn down bad fit clients because you know there are 3 more waiting in the wings. When you have a predictable pipeline, you have the ultimate freedom. So when we talk about how to leave corporate life, we're not talking about an ending. We're talking about building the foundation of the next decade of your career. It means mastering the mindset of permanence and realizing that you are the CEO of your own premium expertise. It means dialing in the mechanics of sustainability so that your business runs like a bulletproof B2B enterprise. It means focusing on legacy impact, choosing the founders you want to help, and building your own body of work. And it means building the marketing machine that guarantees you will never run out of clients and never have to go back to a W-2 job. When you tie these pillars together, you don't just leave the rat race. You build an empire on your own terms. But here's the catch. That final pillar, the marketing machine, is the one thing they never taught you how to do in the corporate world. You know how to run a company, but you probably don't know how to build a predictable pipeline for your own fractional practice. If you want to see exactly how to build out that system so you can step out of corporate life permanently and with total confidence, go watch this video next, the system behind predictable pipeline for fractional executives. In that video, you will see how to take all of this and build it into a cohesive system that brings the right founders to you. Go watch that video next.